Since Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has been in the business, there's been a shake amongst the industry. He didn't start off with television. He started off right from the silver screen. And since he started starring in his own movie, which was a biopic pic about his life, everything had changed for him when it came to the form of entertainment. He realized that I'm not just a rapper, but not just acting. I could also direct, star in, and go forward from there. Now, the way the role that he was being offered, it's like when you're a rapper, you're just supposed to take it. You're not an actor. You're not supposed to take it seriously. So he wanted to prove to Hollywood and to the other actors that he's just as dedicated as they are. Even though he was prejudged because of his hip hop career, what he was able to do for entertainment television, for a audience that was being ignored, as networks would use African American shows to bring in the African American viewer to the network, then eliminate the African American show and offer them the predominantly Caucasian one with the one token black on the show to say, hey, we're not bigoted. And this had been going on, and this had been the system for years. And not just blacks, but Latinos, Asians. They were already judged before they even had an opportunity, as if there wasn't any Asians in America or any Latinos in America. Now you've seen Indians, Pacific Islanders, you have seen more Asian exposure in the silver screen and on television. More in writing, producing. And 50 Cent is a big driving, moving force as a reason as why this is happening. His success that he's had on the network Starz took them from basically, I wouldn't say a laughing stock, but they were considered the lowest of the low. No one respected Starz. Their subscriber base was very low. And this is why 50 Cent was given an opportunity in the first place. When they came to him, he was brought to Courtney to help her out. They were already in the works with a deal with Starz. The show was going to be on Encore, which was their other network, but they was like, no, we put our shows on Starz. And we put mostly our black shows on, Encore. But this is the first time we're going to have one to try to build up our main network, because our main network is losing. Now that because of 50 Cent and his ideas, he made power authentic. So with their writing around his tooling of making the show authentic to the point where it makes sense, now you're able to garnish or to establish a core founding to where people can relate to the shows and the characters. Not taking anything away from the characters, but this is his direction. To have Power Book 2, 3, to make a whole universe for television shows, the way Marvel did for movies, was ingenious. No other network would have thought of that. and try to accomplish it. They always do it with other shows that they have and try to make it Sunday Fun Day and just combine all these other shows that are not connected. This is the first time all of these shows were connected, from Raising Kanan to Power Book 2. And now you got Tommy's Force to come in. There's the fourth show out of it. Now that Power's through with its run, you got these 3 spinoffs. It was supposed to be 4. Now that Power is done. But instead of the Tate show, they went with BMF because they was like, well, BMF is on fire. We could put Tate to the burner or just integrate him into Tyreek's show. They still really don't know what to do with that aspect of it. I think they still behind the 8 ball. But 50 Cent, or basically Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, has informed the world that the best is yet to come. As he sold some of his greatest projects to ABC and other networks, he's now going to be using and making his own studio, as he and his partners are going to build and make a studio for their television projects so they can make it all in one location. One place to make the product, one place to collect the money. We gonna own this city. Had to. I couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. Now, because it was done this way, the entertainment valve was hit. Everything's changes from here on out. Now, you got to be either relative to the project or you're not going to be so distant, you're not going to be able to touch it with a 10-foot pole. You see, society has come in and said, we found the new avenue. We found the way to make it work. We know how to make this relevant. Okay? They came in and said they know how to replicate 50 Cent. Well, we've seen it commonly happen amongst people that look like us. They take from you and say, okay, we got it from here. And once they say, we got it from here, that's it. Once you say, we got it from here, the person that created it and came up with all of these concepts are ostracized. They're pushed to the side, and no one wants to hear from them. Did you ever notice that? Ostracized. For what reason? Because they always take from the very best of us to deliver us a flawed product, a flawed idea, a flawed concept. But why? It makes no sense. The world could always clearly see the cream rises to the top. What's going to happen next with 50 Cent shows? What's going to happen to his shows? What's going to happen with all those programs? 50 Cent does not own any of these shows. Yep. He can't take any of these shows with him because he has partners. He was one of the creators of this show. He was one of the producers of BMF. But Starz bought the shows, so they own them. Now, 50 does get paid, but once the network says, okay, we're done, he could take his material, he could take the shows, and go elsewhere with them. Now, he's not going to probably sign off on any spinoffs of the shows. That would have to go through him and the team and everything else if they want to spin off characters. So if he doesn't sign off on any more spinoffs, then they're done as far as the expansions. They could take the show that they have and just keep making seasons. And he'll be paid for those. But 50 Cent, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, is going to build a new network where he's going to have new shows based on real life drama. The Murder Was the Case with Snoop, the 8 Mile, the Eminem show showing his life in the 8 Mile trailer parks. We've seen the movie. The television show is going to tell us the stories so it's more flushed out. You get to see the little stories that happen in between scenes that you saw in the movie. Well, my thing is, now I've always loved 50 Cent the rapper. Every song basically he made, I could relate to. Whether you wanted to support it or not, hot is hot. And when you don't understand, like, I'm like, man, this is a good record, but it wouldn't get any spin because they'd be like, oh, 50 Cent played out. Oh, G Unit just ain't popping. Everybody went to this Lil Wayne drug syrupy era. That's why he had to go up against Lil Wayne. He's like, I gotta fight that because that's gonna be the new narrative. That's gonna be the new genre. He's gearing everybody towards him. Well, it's not that feature movies are dead. It's just that series are way more lucrative. They're a lot more work, but it keeps people employed. All of these actors, think of all these African American, Latino actors, just actors in general. I mean, you've seen a lot of these actors that you know mainly on Power, like Sax and all these guys. Like, they're white, and they like, yeah, I couldn't get a job. Like, it was rough. I'm so glad I got this Power gig. Like, it just, like, I thought I was going to get killed off. Like, the only one that really survived his department was him. Everybody else was either retired, became, or dead. It was, it was not a good look for them. Like, the whole office, everybody was getting killed. And these are the feds. Feds don't be getting killed. So, look at all those people that this show and this project employ. That they're able to feed their families and create their own now. The son, Tyreek, and building the show around him, that happened because they felt Amari Hardwick became a little too much. He knew the show was going to come to an end one day. But he wanted to do it giving his life to save Tommy. That's the way he thought the show should end. Since the show was basically about him and Tommy, it wasn't really about him and Tariq. The show was about him and Tommy and everything they went through, and Tommy would go and get in trouble and Ghost would get him out. And Tommy went and got himself in major trouble to where he couldn't get out. And the only way out, Ghost had to sacrifice himself to get Tommy out. And he thought that should have been the way. Ghost went out. And they liked the idea, like Joseph Sikora loved it and thought it was a beautiful homage to their friendship, their brotherhood, since they've been in this thing together. And they kind of did that in the end of it, where Tommy was the last one to see him take his last breath. So, and for him to leave that note, what they did in Power Book 2, that was tacky. Because that goes against what he did at the end, his last breath. He wouldn't have left that note for his son. That's just a tacky way of trying to keep the character Ghost around in the story. Trying to fan the flames of his ghost still alive. That's when you're getting real tacky with the show. How I feel about the show in general, I'm at my don't care meter about book 2 is very high. Like if I missed that show, I feel like I missed nothing. The show's just, to me, a mess. And the direction of it doesn't even seem to be there anymore. Raising Kanan is more grounded. Characters are more developed, fleshed out. It makes sense. It connects. You see real character growth and development. You see Unique gravitate and take himself to a plateau. You see Ra pretty much stay where she is, and you know why she has to stay where she is. Why she has to be the way she is. And Ra is a whole different animal. And the show grabs that 1990s feel. That late 80s, early 90s feel. So, by it being a period piece, I know when you hear 1990s and you're like, it's a period piece? Yes, it's a period piece. People, especially in the East Coast, can relate. People in the Midwest can relate. People down south can relate. The music, everything, the fashion, the direction, the way things operated and moved. But nothing's changed. It's relatable. You got soft people. You got people that's in his trying to take over territory. And sometimes your best friend could be somebody who tried to take your life before. Just is what it is. There's a lot of contrast in the story. But all of this is going into the makings of what made Kanan. And we really haven't gotten to that point yet. Like there's always been good in Kanan. But there's always been a lack of distrust for people. But some turned him into a madman, like vicious when he needed to be. Well, BMF is based on a true story. People just hear about it all the time and never really focused on what was the real situation behind it. So when they went to create other shows or create this show, they still were in talks of trying to expand BMF and do a spin-off and do all these other things. And those negotiations fell when they didn't want to give 50 Cent what he truly had deserved. Curtis Jackson earned everything that he got. So, you don't appreciate or see his worth, then okay. You'll move forward. That's just how it is. It's just business. So, Force, we'll see how Force plays out with Tommy Show. I think Tommy Show is going to have a better season 2. The ending, when it got near the end, it was very interesting early on. Like it came out on fire, and they just had some dumb writing in the show, and it just didn't make any sense. It was like bits that you write into a story to try to make some action happen because you're afraid the audience will get bored with the character development, so you need to write an action scene. So they just throw in an inserted scene just to have Tommy just taking some people out. It was just like, well, that didn't make sense. That didn't make sense at all. So, yeah, that's what we were at with it. But, y'all tell me what y'all think later. I'm out. Support to everybody that supports me. Shouts out to everybody. Don't forget to follow Carcino for Life. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell. If you're not getting your notifications, please hit the send feedback button on your YouTube. Send them my URL and say, why am I not getting my notifications for this channel? Okay? Make sure y'all do that if you're not getting your notifications. Because if you don't, I can't do that for you. I've done my part. I've been sitting here going back telling them, hey, people are not getting notified. Y'all have to do it. This is your notifications. You have to make sure first that you're selected to all. You've hit the notification bell, which is goofy as hell. It's just a way to keep you under their thumb. That's all. But anyway, I've talked long enough. Thank you for all y'all who supported my Cash App. Y'all gave me some great donations yesterday. I appreciate it. Much love to y'all. But for the rest of you, if you want to donate, my Cash App is Carcino, Carceno, and I'm out the door.